I love that song. That's my jam. That is my jam. Welcome to the Chad Prather Show Thursday. We're coming at you live, baby. I want to see you guys in the chat. Let me know that you're there. We are live. We do this live, baby. 11 a.m., 10 Central. One of the top sellers right here. Born from Meaning. Born from Meaning. Walking through the ashes towards unbreakable joy. Have you gotten your copy yet? I gotta tell you guys, y'all are driving me crazy. Yesterday I said, do me a favor and go over to Amazon and just leave a review. I didn't tell you to buy like a dozen books, although I think you should get at least one. Tell your family and friends about it. I said, go leave a review, 5 stars. You know how many people have done it so far? 2. What am I gonna do with you people? Do I need to start clapping and barking and saying, blow up the reviews? Let's go, let's go, let's go. Come on, get the book. Seriously, Born from Meaning. It's a good one, man. I'm proud of it. I'm just excited. I'm excited today. It's a good day. It's been a good week. It's been fantastic. Hope y'all are doing well. I had fun this morning on Before the Noise. If you're not joining us for that, you need to. 8-7 Central. I kept it closer to 10 minutes this morning. I did. We talked about Jesus walking on the water. Go back and watch it if you've missed it. Share it with your family and friends. I'm talking a lot these days, and I'm enjoying it more than ever. The Chad Prather Show, man. We're growing and blowing, going and blowing and growing and showing and all the stuff, whatever. But I need you guys to blow up that chat. I want to let you guys get in here. I want to hear from you today. We got a lot of things to talk about, and some things we're going to make up along the way. But this is what I was considering before the show. You ever notice how the so-called free press in America doesn't really act like it's free anymore? I was watching what we used to call the news. I was watching that a little bit last night. And I realized that the, quote, free press acts more like a well-trained circus animal, like they're barking when they're told to bark, trained to jump through the hoops and fetch the bone. And, you know, and they're not barking. When I say they're barking, they're not barking for the truth. They're not fighting for the truth. They're not investigating and journalizing for the truth. They're doing it for ratings and clicks and political power. And it's disgusting. The news is going to tell you, well, I don't even like calling it the news, but they'll tell you they're giving you the news. But let's be honest. That's not what they're selling. They're selling you a narrative. They're selling you a script that's written in the back rooms of board meetings and political war rooms. They handpick which stories to blow up and which stories to bury and which stories to twist into knots until the truth is unrecognizable. And right now, they really don't know what to do because they don't have a president with the cue cards or the who to call on next and the pre-written questions. And who to call on. Oh, I'm told I need to call on NBC. Here's the playbook. Here's what they want you to know. Here's what they want you to do. Here's how they want you to behave. They want fear. They want division. They want outrage. And so many people are falling for it because those are the tools. And they don't report anything so you'll be informed and then you can have a true discussion amongst yourselves. They report so you'll be inflamed. And rather than having a discussion about what's going on in our world, you have an argument. You fight with a stranger online because an angry, divided, paranoid public is easier to manipulate if you're afraid. And then, you know what? You'll tune in tomorrow because if you're outraged, it becomes a drug and you're going to share that headline. And then you want to have that fight. If you're divided, you'll never realize the people in power are playing us all like a fiddle. So let me just be honest with you. I've come to this conclusion when it comes to the Chad Prather Show, and I'm glad you tune in. We don't know what the hell we're talking about because we don't know anything anymore. We just have to try to figure it out. We got to dig through, just kind of play with it, just kind of sift through the fodder. I mean, you look how they frame things. A riot becomes a mostly peaceful protest. Remember that? A policy disaster becomes a bold new direction. Meanwhile, the truth, sitting in the corner sucking its thumb like a gagged prisoner, ignored because it doesn't fit the agenda. And don't you dare step out of line. We were literally just having this conversation moments before we started this program about things we're not allowed to say on this program because we will get docked and deplatformed. And guess what else is there? Demonetized. All the things. We're still dealing with limitations that go way back to something we dealt with a couple of years ago when we were all shut down. But that's what happens if you try to tell the truth. There's certain words that are banned. You can't use them. If you question anybody's sacred narrative, suddenly you get labeled. You're the conspiracy theorist, you're the extremist, you're the bigot, you're the dangerous person that's the fascist and the Nazi, whatever. And they don't debate you. They discredit you. They cancel you. Folks, that's not journalism. That's propaganda with a smiley face and a teleprompter. They're pretending to be watchdogs for the truth and for the people, but in reality, they're guard dogs for the establishment. How many of you agree with me? I want to see an American flag or a dancing banana in the chat. They've traded in their integrity for access. See, that's how they get in the back rooms. That's how they get in the press rooms. That's how they get in the briefing rooms, because they're willing to be the puppet. They're willing to be the barking seal so they can get access. They don't investigate power anymore. They protect it. They'll bury the stories about corruption if it threatens their chosen candidate, and they'll manufacture scandals if it helps destroy the opposition. And here's the result. America, you and I aren't informed. We're hypnotized. People don't even know that they're being brainwashed because it's being drip-fed, spoon-fed, force-fed to them for so long that they think it's normal. It's just the matrix we live in. But the truth isn't supposed to have a side. The facts aren't supposed to wear a jersey. Yet here we are with entire newsrooms acting like campaign headquarters. So let me tell you this. The danger isn't just that the media lies. The real danger is that they decide what truths you've never even been allowed to hear. When they silence the story, when they ignore the facts, when they manipulate the language, they shape the very reality you're allowed to live in. So it's no longer journalism, and it's certainly not objective. It's psychological warfare. And America, my dear friend, is the battlefield. Yes, Optimus Prime. All right. I need you guys to do better about leaving a review over on Amazon. Daggone it. I need you to go over there. It doesn't cost you anything. Get on your Amazon Prime account. I don't like to do Amazon. Do it this time, okay? Because this is how we win, folks. This is how we win. We click the little buttons that say this is the kind of stuff we want to see and what we want to have. Stuff with value, stuff with meaning. Go over to Born for Meaning, search for it, find the paperback. We're #1 in the faith category, which I'm proud of, and I'm also humbled by. I'm thankful because that's God's grace. When I say proud of it, it's not my accomplishment. I'm just thankful for you guys who have put it there. Thank you for buying the book. If you want a signed copy, it takes a little longer for it to come in. You can go to bornformeaning.com, and I'll sign them for you when they do finally come in. It's taken longer because we've ordered a book. And I'll touch it, whatever. I'll lick it, put my fingerprints on it. You'll have my DNA. Clone me. It's a worthy clone. Leave me a review over there, though. I need that. Go to Birch Gold by texting Chad, CHAD, to 989898. Our friends at Birch Gold will send you a free, no-obligation information kit on how you can diversify your savings, your IRA, your 401k, roll it over into a tax-sheltered IRA that's backed by physical gold. And right now, they got a cool rebate going if you're a first-time gold buyer. If you're buying those precious metals for the first time, when you talk to them, tell them you want to buy some. And they've got a deal going right now where you could earn up to a $10,000 rebate in precious metals. That's pretty cool. I like that idea. So talk to them. Text Chad, very simply, to the phone number 989898, and they will help you out. They'll call you on the phone, get your address, they'll send you the kit, all the stuff. I need you to do that for me. Last week they said, man, you had a lot of folks that sent us the text message. Yes, we have the best audience in the world, and I need you to be the best again. Text Chad today to 989898, and they will send you that info kit. They got an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Trust me when I tell you you can trust them. Tens of thousands of satisfied customers. They got that really cool rebate going on. Plus, if you got that savings account or that old 401k, you need it backed by real gold with a tax-sheltered IRA. So text Chad to 989898. Before we go anywhere, I want to bring him on with a big ding-dong, Mr. Party Foul Steve. What's
Good morning. Good morning. Hey, look what I'm reading. It came in.
What?
I'm already on page 6. Right off the bat, I thought, dude, this book was written about me. And I think anybody that reads that is going to feel that way.
It's a good book, dude.
It is good. It's easy. It's kind of what I would call an easy read.
Yeah, it's an easy read. And I did it that way on purpose because I want men to read it, you know?
Yeah,
And-
we're kind of like it. I like you almost did double spacing, like you were trying to make the book way,
I wanted it a little bit bigger. I wanted it a little bit bigger. I love seeing those dancing bananas blowing up in the chat. I'm going to do a couple of them myself, little dancing bananas. I think David needs to create a dancing banana thing for our screen at some point in time. If you're on YouTube and you're wondering what the dancing banana is, that's one of the emojis they give you down at the bottom in the Rumble chat, which is where everybody is. I don't know where you guys are.
Hey, I could do a
But
dancing banana too. Boom. Watch this. I'll do a few of them. All right, there we go.
one of these days, Steve, we should get banana costumes.
We can do it. Halloween's coming up. I mean, in a couple of months, I guess.
We've never needed Halloween in order to never
dress like a banana.
Never ever. No, best dressed like anything. Remember the time you went, put the dark face on to be Abu al-Baghdadi?
Yes, that was brown face or something. That's
Brown face, yeah. You and his Arab
You
face.
can't do that kind of stuff any longer.
I don't think you're supposed to, but I don't care. I went as Glenn Beck. I don't think I'm supposed to do that either. That's when I went into Glenn's dressing room, and Glenn has this massive chest in his dressing room there at the Blaze, and it's got these drawers on it, and Glenn doesn't have anything that's cheap, right? When you're worth $1 billion, I don't know what Glenn's worth, but it's close. When you got that kind of money, you got some expensive stuff. So he wears those reading glasses, right? The little frou-frou reading glasses that Glenn has. And he's got a chest drawer that's like stacked deep in all these different glasses. Every one of those glasses is probably, I don't know, thousands of dollars each. So I grabbed a pair out of there. The door was open. And Craig, his security guy / secretary, who's major killer, he goes, dude, I had one of his little pocket kerchiefs or whatever in there. He goes, you realize that's worth like $10,000. And I was like, who has a pocket square for $10,000?
Glenn Beck does.
I mean, based on what Craig said, it could have been. And I don't want to be telling tales out of turn, but I dressed up like Glenn Beck, and I thought it was a pretty good episode where we whiteboarded everything. It was a good time. Yeah. But you went as al-Baghdadi.
Yeah, sure did. It looks like Glenn Beck's worth about, I don't know, $250 million.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell Glenn's business, but he had a rough go of it. He lost a little bit a few years back because of his ventures that he did with the Blaze. But he invested. I will say this about Glenn. He's always invested in what he believes in, and he's a good dude. He's a good guy. Always been gracious to me. So
he's always gave me a good head nod.
Yeah, he'll give you. He doesn't.
I never really spoke to him. I was there at the Blaze for 3 or 4 years with you, and I would say something, and he would just politely nod and keep on going.
Yeah, Glenn doesn't live on the same planet we do. That's a fact. But he was always very gracious to me, and when I see him now, he'll hug my neck and then say, "What are you doing in the building?" Oh my gosh. All right, let's get into some stuff, Steve. We're just making it up as we go today. I'm glad everybody is here. Thank you for joining us. Steve, I got to give you another prop, man. That studio's looking good. Your lighting is looking fantastic.
Thank you. I watched minutes and minutes of YouTube videos on lighting, and I'm still, fine tweaking it.
Tell me this though, where did that shirt you're wearing, where did that come from?
This came from the Westchester in New York, Trump's golf course.
Who brought you that?
Had a friend of mine that was up there doing an event, and a friend of mine, he's been to the White House a few times. He knows Trump.
I know who that friend is. All right, looks good on you, man. That's a good color on you, actually.
I never thought that blue was my color, because this color of blue is horrible on a house. So I was like, man, I'll put it on. We'll see what happens.
No, it looks good. I actually bought a couple of shirts. One of those shirts was supposed to go to Jesse Payton, but I haven't seen Jesse in a long time, and I think I'm going to for a while. So I was like, just go ahead and take both of the shirts, Steve.
Well, I did.
Yeah, I'm glad you did. Glad you did. Baby blue was the color of her eyes, baby blue. And I like that Allied Oilfield hat you're wearing too. Got to give props to Allied Oilfield.
This they sent several hats, and this was my favorite one. So
yeah, AlliedOilfield.com. That's a little free shout out. If you want one of my shirts, you can go to patriotcrew.co and use promo code CHAD10. They're not a sponsor. They're a friend. patriotcrew.co/CHAD. Or just use promo code CHAD10 and save a little money. All right, everybody, drum roll, please, with the dance of bananas. Let's get into the top story. What do you think about that little cartoon version of me up there in the middle of that newspaper? What do you think about that deal?
It's cute.
It's cute. Does it look like me?
Yeah, it does. Actually, it does. Every time I see a silhouette of anyone with a cowboy hat, I automatically think of you. So look at that
Yeah.
little chin hair you got there going
Got a
on.
little
Yeah.
bit. Got a little bit. Might need to darken my beard a little bit. All right. Ron DeSantis has got his balls hanging out here, and there's going to be a lot of people losing their freaking mind. One thing that he's doing is he's weaponizing the way stations. He ain't going to let illegals be driving trucks through Florida, I can tell you that, and that's pretty cool. But this is another thing he's doing. We're not going to say certain words again. But many liberals living in Florida are now threatening to flee the state after DeSantis ended its blah blah mandates. That's the word that starts with a V. If you remember from back in the Blaze days, we called that word the blah blah because people were getting the blah blah in their arm. What's your advice? Let's pull this down. Look at Ron. Let's see if he's got just a big sack there. Oh, it's just his head. There you go. There he goes. He's blocked by a podium. I like this. But they ended the mandates, and a lot of the liberal rerees are hitting the road. This is his Surgeon General, right? Is that that guy? Who it is? Anyway, play the clip.
He was the one speaking. He was.
Yeah, that's the Florida medical guy. So play the clip. I like this guy.
But what I'm most excited about is an announcement that we're making now, which is that the Florida Department of Health, in partnership with the governor, is going to be working to end all vaccine mandates in Florida law. All of them.
Yes.
Like every single one of them?
All of them.
Yeah.
He said all of them.
Every last one of them.
So does that mean like the ones that kids get before school and all that?
Yep.
Would it be parents' choice?
Yep.
Yeah. Every last one of them. All of them.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. I got some opinions.
Every last one of them. Every last one of them is wrong and drips with disdain and slavery. Okay? Who am I as a government or anyone else, or who am I as a man standing here now to tell you what you should put in your body?
Right.
Who am I to tell you what your child should put in your body? I don't have that right. Your body is a gift from God. What you put into your body is because of your relationship with your body and your God. I don't have that right. Government does not have that right. They want.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Now, let me tell you why. Let me tell you why this matters. And see, it's common sense and critical thinking if you think about it. Now, they're going to be, he's recalling all of them. He's not recalling them. He's banning the mandates. You can still go get them. You shouldn't have a blah, blah schedule of 72 different things that you stick in your kid when they're born or over the course of their childhood. You just shouldn't. There's no way. There's no possible way. I understand there's a couple of them you may want to get, some that are proven science. There may be some of those you want to do. But the issue is if you want to, let's say right here in the state of Texas, if you want to be exempt and send your child to a public school, then you have to do an exemption form, which means you have to have a religious exemption or a medical exemption. Bottom line, you are going to have to end up lying on a form for the government to approve. You shouldn't have to do that. If I say that I don't want my child to have that, then that should be the case. Now, I got in trouble a few years ago. There was a big controversy because I said, just don't send your kids to public school, or if you're going to, just do what they ask. My point was, get your kids out of public school. Because if you're going to send them to public school, you're going to end up bowing down to what the big government tells you to do. And people thought I was just saying, just bow down to the big government. No, I was actually trying to say the other thing.
No, I know exactly what you're saying. If that's the requirements of the public school for these to be in place and you want your child to go there, you have to fall in line. If you don't, pull your kids out of school and do it yourself. I did.
Now, anybody that has injured children, they came at me quite vehemently saying, we have a right to go to school. And I said, yeah, but you have to fill out that stupid form asking the government's permission. And you shouldn't have to do that. Shouldn't have to do that. Because again, I don't need the government's permission about what I do with myself or my kids. It's just not the way it goes.
Now, okay, that being said, if you go that route with that kind of logic, what about the other drugs that people are putting in their kids for gender reassignment and stuff like that? We're gonna say
that should be illegal too. Yeah. And there are states who are doing that. But I mean, there are places, Florida being one of them.
The parents should have the right to say what goes in their kid or not. It's going to cause.
But parents should have a right. We're talking about something that is potentially healing. It's done for the purpose of healing that could potentially be harmful. That's a choice I get to make. If I do, I should not be allowed to make a decision that is purposefully harmful to my child. Because you're not talking about something that you're putting in them as a medicinal purpose for prevention. You're talking about something that radically alters them. So ultimately, that doesn't fall under medical care. That falls under abuse. Right. Make sense?
Yeah. No,
that's the difference.
It makes sense, but I'm going to see there's going to be some.
They're going to do it. I mean, the lefty governors are already coming back. They're forming an alliance, these blue state governors, to set their own guidelines, which basically is ignoring the CDC. Look at that big Steve right there. Boom.
Yeah.
Right in the middle.
Look
at you.
We're
all over the place.
David is looking for attention this morning, so there you go.
I love
David.
it. Well, here's David right here. Play the clip. Look at him. He's handsome. He's looking svelte.
Oregon, Washington, and California said Wednesday they're forming a coalition to establish their own vaccine and immunization recommendations. The three Democratic governors, Oregon's Tina Kotek, Washington's Bob Ferguson, and California's Gavin Newsom, said their states formed a West Coast alliance to ensure residents remain protected by science, not politics, in response to what they called the Trump administration's dismantling of the CDC.
Don't you guys think David should be on the show more? I think, I'm always twisting his arm. He's a busy man.
We could pop him up in the corner every now and then just to.
I love David Medina as much as I can love a man in that way, without trying to hug him naked. I'm just telling you, I love David Medina, and I say that to make him uncomfortable. But you need to be following David Medina PDX at David Medina PDX. That was David. This is what's going on, and it's the usual suspects: Oregon, California, Washington, bunch of hammerheads, dude.
We expect it. We expect it from them. So,
well, again, it's not critical thinking. I mean, and people are going to go, but. You know, I got a post out right now over on X that's got about 23,000 reactions on it. That you have about 1,000 people from HHS who are demanding RFK Jr. get kicked out because of what he's saying on these issues. The health of the American citizen has only gone downhill since the establishment of Health and Human Services in 1979. That's a statistical, provable fact. That's a fact. I guarantee you, though, over 75 million Americans want those HHS employees gone. This was from David Mansdorfer. He said 1,000 HHS staff want RFK Jr. gone. Why? Because he's exposing the failures they don't want to talk about. These are the same employees who locked down America, closed schools, and pushed mandates that divided families and communities. Get rid of them.
The only way we can't get better is to point out our failures and go, hey, we failed this way. We have to take a different approach to this. Period.
You're right. And I remind everybody, the same people that are out there barking and talking and screeching about Trump wanting to send in the National Guard, those are the same people that did do dictatorial things and shutting down everything we did. From 20 to 24, man, they did everything they could to shut it down. Some places are still reeling from all that stuff. I mean, people were literally putting pool noodles on their heads so nobody would get too close to them at a cafe. And people were doing it, dude, putting on hazmat suits to go to the freaking airport.
I think, how much of that were they doing that for that purpose or for just to get attention?
I don't know, man, but it caused me to have a bald head. Look at this.
We're forcing people to go out there and get attention for themselves the most insane, crazy way that they can. It's kind of like, it's almost like watching that, what was that TV show where they did all the crazy stunts? And
Candid Camera.
No, the one Jackass. I think that was it. Yeah. So he did all these crazy stuff. So that's what people started doing is they don't want to, because there's always a camera watching these days. They got to get it captured on camera.
I sat next to a dude. Blow up the chat if you want the masks to come back. Let me hear from you. Yes or no, you want the masks back. I sat on an airplane the other day across from a gentleman who was wearing one. And you know how bad I want to just go, boop.
Yeah. Hey, if you're, I understand if you're immunocompromised or if you're out mowing your grass and you want to avoid the allergies, throw on a mask. But there's nothing better for you than fresh air.
Fresh air, baby, a little vitamin D. I don't think you should be smearing sunscreen all over yourself either.
I think that's a big no on the mask in the chat.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of
doing
where your rights come from, the Democrats want you to believe you get your rights from the government. You get your rights from God. You get your rights from God. Ted Cruz posted this earlier. Usual condemnation of America's founding principle is exactly what is wrong with today's Democrat Party. Government projects our God-given rights. No, it does not create or destroy them. Play the clip. Tim Kaine, everybody.
The notion that rights don't come from laws and don't come from the government, but come from the creator, that's what the Iranian government believes. It's a theocratic regime that bases its rule on Shia law and targets Sunnis, Baha'is, Jews, Christians, and other religious minorities. And they do it because they believe that they understand what natural rights are from their creator. So the statement that our rights do not come from our laws or our governments is extremely troubling. I think the motto over the Supreme Court is equal justice under law. The oath that you and I take, pledge to support and defend the Constitution of the United States, not arbitrarily defined natural rights.
Mr. Barnes, I'd actually like to go back to the exchange you had with Senator Kaine, and I wish Senator Kaine was still here. Senator Kaine and I were elected together 13 years ago. He is a friend. I would actually encourage observers to go back and listen to what Senator Kaine said, because I have to say I think was disturbing and showed much of where today's Democrat Party has gone wrong. So Senator Kaine said in this hearing that he found it a radical and dangerous notion that you would say our rights came from God and not from government.
Get him, Ted.
I just walked into the hearing as he was saying that, and I almost fell out of my chair. Because that radical and dangerous notion, in his words, is literally the founding principle upon which the United States of America was created. And if you do not believe me, and you made reference to this, Mr. Barnes, then you can believe perhaps the most prominent Virginian to ever serve, Thomas Jefferson, who wrote in the Declaration of Independence, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, and that they are endowed by their Creator, not by government, not by the Democratic National Committee, but by God, with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness."
Dancing pickle, dancing banana. Get him, Ted. Let me tell you something. Massachusetts in 1780, in its preamble said, "The goodness of the great legislator of the universe." You know who that is? That's God. Pennsylvania, 1776, declared gratitude to Almighty God for the blessings of civil and religious liberty. By the way, these are in their constitutions. North Carolina, 1776, opened by expressing dependence on God, the creator, preserver, and ruler of the universe. Delaware, 1776, required office holders to profess belief in God, the Trinity, and the divine inspiration of the Scriptures. Pennsylvania, 1776, said legislators must affirm belief in one God, the creator and governor of the universe, the rewarder of good and the punisher of the wicked. North Carolina, 1776, barred anyone who denied the being of God or the truth of the Protestant religion from holding office. 1780, Massachusetts required all office holders to declare belief in the Christian religion. Virginia, 1776, the Declaration of Rights, drafted by George Mason, influenced by Jefferson, protected free exercise of religion, but still assumed a Christian moral order. 1780, Massachusetts allowed towns to tax citizens to support the public worship of God, but with freedom to choose denomination. I can go on. Tim Kaine, I can go on. This dude was, by the way, almost your vice president had Hillary Clinton won.
Yeah.
And Ted's the smartest dude in the world. I don't care. He's the smartest dude in the room most of the time. Most of the time. Virginia said in 1776, religion or the duty which we owe to our Creator can be directed only by reason and conviction, not by force or violence. Look at that dancing banana. Ooh, good thing.
So
Maryland,
the country was founded on God, and we want to keep wanting to separate God from our country. You can't do it. You're not going to do it.
Can't do it. The early state constitutions, the reason there is no use of the word God in the federal constitution, the U.S. Constitution, is because the early state constitutions overwhelmingly acknowledged God as creator and governor of the universe. They often required belief in him, and sometimes Christianity specifically, for public office, and frequently supported public worship. Religious liberty was affirmed, but was liberty within a God-centered, often Protestant framework, not the strict secular neutrality we think of today. There you go. But they ain't gonna tell you that. They're not gonna do that part of history. Your kids aren't gonna learn that in public schools. So there you go.
In God we trust.
In God we trust. Look at that dancing banana. Some of y'all in the chat are getting turned on. Heathens. Look at David popping off with a green screen banana. Put him up there above me. Put him up there. Put him over the. Put him somewhere we can see the background through, because it's just black. Put him up there. Yeah, you can see through him.
Oh yeah. Move him all over the place.
I love the new rebranded Chad Prather show. This thing looks good, Linda. It looks good. Linda gave us a shout out yesterday. Said she likes the new layout. She said, "Peel that thing, peel that thing." I see my buddy K Dub in there with a dancing Trump too. Y'all crazy. I love y'all in the chat, man. We having a good time today. What else y'all want to talk about? CNN. They did that parade. They did that military parade there in China. My buddy Gunther Eagleman, he said, CNN's given the Chinese military parade more positive press than they gave to President Trump's parade. Says everything. No wonder nobody gives a shit about what these crooks say anymore. Is that Caitlin Collins or whatever her name is? Could be.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes, I think that is. Play the clip. Let's play it.
We're watching live pictures tonight, right now, a massive parade underway in Beijing as the Chinese President Xi Jinping is showing off his country's arsenal and military might to the world and to the more than 24 foreign leaders who are there in person attending this military parade that includes those from Russia, North Korea, and Iran. In a speech just a few moments ago, President Xi warned that the world needs to choose, as he put it, quote, between peace and war. I want to get straight to CNN's Ivan Watson, who is live on the ground in Beijing. And obviously, Ivan, we're watching this play out and just seeing, how extensive this military parade is so far. What's clear to you from the message that China is trying to send tonight?
This is a message of strength. This is a message of victory. After all, they are commemorating the 80th anniversary of the surrender of Japan.
David, I want you to look up. I want you to look up Xi Jinping's. Just look up Xi's limo. See if you can find an image of his limo that he came up in on that deal. I had somebody yesterday talking about this thing, and they said on social media they were pulling all this stuff. They said we better learn Mandarin. Now,
Yeah,
Steve, you pointed out that it might have been a paper mache missile they were pulling down the road.
I think it was a bunch of paper mache missiles. But you know what you didn't see in those videos?
What?
Not a single protester. Where are they at? Where are their protesters at?
Yeah, they don't allow that. So look at this piece of shite car he's driving in. Now, you're going to show me your military might. And everybody's going, oh, look at this amazing military. I mean, Caitlin Collins literally creaming her britches over here over this. Let me tell you something. They're going to praise that. Trump's going to come out and do one on the 4th of July. And then you got Americans over here going, oh, my God, I'm shaking in my little britches. Go back and watch yesterday's ending monologue, my final word about this stuff. I ain't learning Mandarin. I'll be dead first. You think Americans Better learn Mandarin because China's about to take over. Let me stop you right there, little fella. America may not be perfect, but the reason the world does business in English isn't because we forced it. It's because we're the ones with the innovation. They stole our innovation. They have our technology. That's what they're using. That's what they're parading. If you think those missiles are supposed to scare us, let me tell you something. We got some stuff buried in bunkers that'll light his ass up in a heartbeat. They have what they have because of our innovation, our freedom, and our opportunity flow that came out of this country. And China's success comes on the back of their own slave labor. That's why you don't see those protesters, Steve. Their own censorship, their state-controlled theft of ideas that they couldn't invent themselves. So if Beijing were the shining city on a hill, learn Mandarin. Kiss my fat white ass. Let me tell you, who's breaking into China? Who's climbing the wall to get into China?
Nobody. No one.
No,
Not
they're,
one.
You know what? You got to smuggle a Bible in. If you get caught with one, you go to prison or get killed. People are risking their lives to get out of China. The only reason they look like they're gaining ground is because too many American leaders sold us out for cheap manufacturing and lobbyist dollars. But history points out that authoritarian regimes eventually choke on their own corruption. They end up killing the former leader. Where the hell is President Hu? Remember when they marched him out in front of everybody? They took him off. Nobody's seen him. That was the former president. Xi didn't even turn his head to look and see where he was going. So hell no, I ain't bowing to the CCP or changing my tongue to fit theirs. If anything, they should start brushing up on English because when the House of Cards collapses, they're going to be begging to understand the language of liberty, baby. I ain't bowing down to nobody. Hell no. We're not. Forget Mandarin.
And they're not coming here because almost every household in America has a toaster. And I've got 15 or 20 toasters right over here in the toaster cabinet.
I'm looking at 6 of them right now. 6 of them.
I mean, some of those toasters may have been made in China, but
I'm telling you, man, I got that special. I even got a free toaster for being on Chad Robishaw's show from a company called Smith & Wesson. I don't even remember the name of the company. It was one of those Smith & Wesson toasters. I love it. Look at Kim Jong-un, man.
Put toasters in the chat if you have a toaster.
Toaster. Let me tell you what's funny. So you remember when Vladimir Putin came? Look at Trump, Donald Trump. There he is, he dancing. YMCA. Remember when Vladimir Putin came a couple of weeks ago and met in Alaska? You know, everywhere he goes, they take his doo-doo with him. They collect his poop. Vladimir Putin, they collect his poop and they put it in a briefcase. There's a dude walking around with a doo-doo briefcase so that they can't get his DNA and then check to see what his health is. So he's literally got a person that collects his poop. Kim Jong-un did one better. Kim Jong-un brought his own toilet. He traveled to China, allegedly, with his own toilet to protect his DNA, according to the New York Post. The dictator's aides were seen at one point during his trip to China, wiping down the area where he sat. The reason was to seal off anything related to his health from the rest of the world, according to a South Korean intelligence official. Steve, you got your own toilet? Your travel toilet?
No, yeah, I got a travel toilet.
Play the clip. Here we go.
Wherever I need to go is a toilet.
Look at they're wiping down the seat, bro.
Wouldn't they, if he shook hands, though, couldn't they take that hand and go collect some DNA from somebody else's hand?
I mean, bro, they're thorough, huh? Nobody wipes down my seat.
Yeah. We ain't even thinking about that. I bet Trump craps wherever he wants to.
I don't know about you, but I take a dump. It could be the best dump I've ever had.
Golden toilet.
It's a good dump. And I didn't lose my toasters in a boating accident. You want my toasters, you come and take them. I'll die before I speak Mandarin. Look at Donnie T. Oh my God, look at that.
So I can see the chat.
Look how good that green screen looks with Trump. Put him back over on top of Steve. That's amazing. You people listening by way of audio, you need to leave a review, but you need to be watching this thing. Golly.
That's like he's pulling those right out of Rumble, isn't he?
This is like some deep fake AI. I thought Trump was on his show. Wow. All right, RFK, the HHS guys want him out, but nope. RFK announces he's ending the child mutilation and the gain of function research and all of that nonsense. He says, we're ending it, dude. Play the clip. I like it.
We are ending gain-of-function research, child mutilation, and reducing animal testing. We are addressing cell phone use in schools, excessive screen time for youth, the lack of nutrition education in our medical schools, sickle cell anemia, hepatitis C, the East Palestine chemical spill, and many others. At FDA, we are now on track to approve more drugs this year than at any time in history. I'm also proud to say that HHS under President Trump is doing more with less. We have taken measures to fight waste, fraud, and abuse. Just by eliminating duplicative enrollments in CMS, we are saving taxpayers $14 billion a year. Meanwhile, we are expanding access for people who need it. We are ending racist diversity, equity, and inclusion practices and instead focusing on aiding low-income and vulnerable families, regardless of their race, which was the original intent of Title X. We're also pouring $1 billion into Head Start and the Administration for Children and Families. Compassion need not be the casualty of efficiency. I'd like to highlight some issues that have not gotten media attention. First, we are doing our part to fulfill the President's commitment to stop human trafficking, especially of children.
All right, this was this morning. Surely there had to be a protester there. I mean, every time the guy opens his mouth, was there a protester on that thing? Because I didn't get a chance to see all that deal. I'm just curious to know, did anybody protest or disrupt the deal? Oh, of course. Here comes the re-rees. You're killing millions of people. Play the clip.
Drug prices, prior authorization, information blocking.
The committee will come to order.
Oh, of course, it's her.
And you don't even know what she said because she just.
I apologize to you for that outburst, Secretary Kennedy. I would notify everyone else in the audience. Comments from the audience are inappropriate. If there are any further disruptions, the committee will recess until the.
I'm pretty certain that whatever was wrong with her could have been cured by eating salads. Okay? Yeah, I know what you're doing, David. I know you're pointing it out. That's what healthy looks like.
Look at the path we were headed down with the process, and now that it's ultra processed foods and stuff like that, it can't be good for you.
No, it's not good for you. And I go back.
No way it can be good for you.
And I go back. I'm not going to go back to what I was going to say because we don't have enough time to get back into that. But I mean, there's so many things that we've been talked into believing are good for us that are not. I mean, we really have. Back to the sunscreen thing that I was talking about. Listen, and I get it. People are like, oh, I get cancers and stuff like that. But you need to look into what you get from using all that sunscreen too. Maybe limit how much sun you're getting. Like, don't overdo it. Don't be getting burned and all those kind of things. And there's other things that go with it. I mean, it's just like when you get high cholesterol and you start taking those statins. The statins will kill you. We've been bombarded with this information and brainwashed, like I said at the very beginning. So, like, you get this fat lady who's, arguing on the thing. And, I mean, it's like, honey, whatever's wrong with you could have been cured by a salad. So this is Oregon Senator, bless his heart. Watch RFK just hammer down on him. Play this clip. Is it buffering? I'm telling you, man, these people, they want to get out there. They want to protest and.
Have you?
And by the way, I don't think cigarettes kill you either.
That's all the chemicals they put in there with it.
It's all the other crap they do. Play this clip.
Enacting an agenda that I think is fundamentally cruel and defies common sense. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Do I got a reply? Or, Senator, you've sat in that chair for how long? 20, 25 years, while the chronic disease in our children went up to 76%. And you said nothing. You never asked the question why it's happening. Why is this happening? Today, for the first time in 20 years, we learned that infant mortality has increased in our country. It's not because I came in here. It's because of what happened during the Biden administration that we're going to end.
I'm going to let Senator Wyden respond briefly to that, and then we're not going to go over like we just did.
This committee on a bipartisan basis. Enacted.
Yeah.
And it's not just the Biden administration. This is administration after administration after administration after administration that has let this stuff continue.
Well, and I go on and say what I said about the HHS. Health in America has declined. What about the CDC? RFK puts them on blast as well. I think we got a clip on that. Watch what he says. I always want to cough when Bobby talks, you know. You want to clear my throat. I know I'm picking on the guy, but I'm just saying. I just always want to. God bless him. Play the clip.
This morning, I got the latest numbers from CDC that 76.4% of Americans now have a chronic disease. This is stunning. When my uncle was president, it was 11%. 1950, it was 3%. Today, it's 76.4%. 8 out of 10 of our kids cannot qualify for military service. This is a national security issue. When my uncle was president, we spent 0 on chronic disease. Today, we spend $1.3 trillion. It's the biggest cost.
Trillion.
And it's increasing. Yeah. And all of the arguments that Republicans and Democrats have about single payer, Obamacare, or with the various ways of allocate the health dollars, they're all like rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic. If we don't end this chronic disease, we are the sickest country in the world. That's why we have to fire people at CDC. They did not do their job. This was their job to keep us healthy.
I'm telling you, it was their job.
It starts with childhood obesity.
They didn't do it.
That's where it starts with our kids, what we're feeding them, what we're putting in their mouth.
We're pumping kids full of so much crap, dude. It's so much crap. There's so many natural things that are out there. I mean, it's just, we're lazy, we're fat. We want to, our homeless people are fat, dude. And again, Big Pharma, the people, as I said earlier about the media, the talking heads, the parrots that aren't doing journalism, you know, they get paid. So do the politicians. They get paid by the Big Pharma because Big Pharma doesn't want you dead. They want you dependent. They don't cure disease. They don't give you medicine. They practice medicine.
They drag
and
it
thank
out.
God, listen, I'm not saying thank God for medical science. Thank God for healers. Thank God for those people who truly care about it and really do their due diligence and work and don't go over to their little thing and do a little search on what's wrong with you when they leave the room and then come back in and says, okay, we're going to write your prescription for this. People who really want to get to the bottom of it. But those people get kicked out of the medical community. They do. Trump went on a meme tirade. Let's get off, because I could spend some time on that deal. Trump, let's play some of these. Trump was over on Truth Social just having a good time, dude. And you know he's sitting on the toilet doing this, dude. I love, we can't play the music because we'll get docked. Yeah.
He ain't never
there
been
he is
to
with
a
Uncle
Cracker
Herschel.
Barrel. There's no way he's ever been to a Cracker Barrel.
He doesn't have a clue what a Cracker Barrel is. Look at Trump over there with his little man belly. Played a clip here with Gavin Newsom. What do we got? Oh, we need our volume back.
Yeah.
Do we not have it? He's wearing his Trump 2028 hat. Play this one. Turn the volume back up, David. Oh, look at him. He's sissy slapping. Oh, Gavin. There's this little
this
sumo.
Was a great one with Christie.
Pritzker.
Yeah.
Is that Chris Christie and Pritzker?
Yeah.
Look at that. That is fantastic, dude. Oh, yeah.
Who's doing this for him? He's not sitting there making these himself. Or is he just sharing them? Or
yeah, he's sharing them. He ain't
somebody's. I was gonna say.
He was just up memeing, dude, having a good time. Proof of life. Look at him putting his face on. Here we go. Going to pole vault.
Melania.
Come look, Melania. It's going to be fantastic. Over the Cracker Barrel. Brought it back. Uncle Herschel's back by the Cracker Barrel. Oh, my gosh. That's true, though. That headline, Democrats are hemorrhaging voters. There's Adam Shifty Schiff, pencil neck.
The president. Anyone who says anything adverse to the president's interests gets the full weight of the federal government product.
We'll never have any. Rossi. Oh. It's Rossi.
If you're listening and you can't see this, you're missing out.
Taking away Rossi's citizenship. She's not a great American and is, in my opinion, incapable of being so. Oh my gosh, it's funny. He's thinking about taking away her citizenship.
It's Rosie. It's Rosie. I want to say I was wrong.
What'd you say, David? Never going to be another one like Trump, dude. I want to see if you guys are, if you want to see more of Trump memes, give me a yes or no in the chat. Blow that sucker up. I see a big old Y. I want to dude, I just love it. I think he's the best comedian in the world right now.
He is. That made me cry a little bit. Like,
I know, dude. Just bring it all back. I love it, dude. Just some of that. Give me some of that dancing banana, baby. Oh, I love it. All right. Here is where we get to one of my favorite spots of the show, and we got to hustle, folks. We got to hustle in the last 10 minutes. This is a spot I like to call Pinheads of the Day. Yeah. You know, when we first started this, it was going to be Pinhead of the Day, but there's so damn many of them. We had to change it to plural. White liberal women. Yeah, there you go. They're starting to get starting a trend of getting the booster shots to get back at RFK Jr. MAG in Florida for removing the mandates. They're basically taking out their own trash. Let's play the clip.
You audition for Saturday Night Live. I think that's what I'm going to do on Saturday night. Everybody, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. here.
Imagine being that level of idiot. What say you in the chat? I mean, these people, imagine you're going to get back at that guy. You're going to get back at that guy by going to get a medical procedure? Oh, these people are idiots. All right. The Washington State Superintendent of Schools, ladies and gentlemen, he says this, and I'm going to do a long-form video later on we'll put out today. You want to see my commentary about what's going on in Washington. It will blow your mind. So later on, tune in to YouTube or Rumble. We'll post it up. Play this clip.
We have a civil rights framework in this state. It includes trans youth. This is a biological question. It is quite simply inaccurate to say biologically that there are only boys and there are only girls. There's a continuum. There is a science to this. There are children who are born intersex. There are children whose chromosomes and their hormones aren't consistent with their sex at birth. That's not a debate we're going to have today. I just want to remind you of our civil rights obligation. Our state laws make clear that students get to identify and participate in activities based on the gender in which they identify.
Okay.
Oh, shoot.
Duh. That definitely qualifies for a pinhead right there. All right, brand new luxury yacht. This took about 15 minutes. This is $1 million yacht. They launched this sucker, and watch what happens. Oh, my gosh. Here is nothing to fear, and I know that my heart...
If I tried to build a boat, that's what would happen.
Jack, don't leave me, Jack. And I'm assuming this is the captain of the ship who's going, what, do I go down with it or what? He's like, nope, I'm out.
He's like, no, it ain't my fault. I'm out of here.
I'm out. I didn't build this thing. I mean, talk about wasting a bottle of champagne upon launch. They should have thrown a Bud Light at it. Oh, dude, surely they can salvage that boat. I want to know what made it tip over. Maybe Rosie was on the port side. All right, I don't know if this is satire or not, but I died laughing. Watch this. If you've seen it, watch it again. Play this. She thinks, you just play the clip.
If you use Apple Pay, honestly, just be so careful. This is a little embarrassing to admit, but if this could help one person, then I'm really willing to share what my experience was. I'm just gonna lay it out like this. When you use Apple Pay, that's real money. That's true American dollars from your credit card. If you have your credit card connected, that's where the money is being sourced from. It's not like a special form of Apple Pay, Apple dollars. Why they don't just say this is real money while you're paying, I don't know. Because I thought that I had accumulated a bunch of Apple dollars to use for Apple Pay by, spending so much time on my phone, giving my data very freely and willingly to any place that asks. Like whatever they say, are cookies okay? I say yes, 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 because I thought that's how I was getting prizes, getting rewards, getting Apple dollars. So I didn't think that was real money till I checked my credit card bill. I've been spending money like I'm a friggin' millionaire.
I hope it's satire.
Bro, I hope it's satire, but people are that dumb.
Now, I did have to tell one of my daughters you're going to have to put your own card on Apple Pay because they buy all this and that. And it's like, it keeps going to mine. I think she realized.
I watched that. Todd, our buddy Hot Seat Todd Spears put that out, and I had to go look it up. And I was like, is this satire? Those are pretty solid tears. Like, she's got a pretty good red face going on right there. The yacht, they still don't know what happened to that yacht, but most likely culprit was a stability issue related to miscalculated metacentric height, which is a critical measurement for a vessel's upright stability. In this case, the yacht might have been too unstable, causing it to list and ultimately capsize quickly on its port side. As I said, I think Rosie was probably on the port side. Jack, don't leave me, Jack. You know, the thing that I have a problem with that Titanic movie is she gets married. She survives by floating on that bed. She lets go of Jack. Then she goes and she gets married. She spends all 70 years of her married life with a dude. And then in the afterlife, when she finally dies after dropping a $40 million diamond back into the ocean, which, by the way, Glenn Beck does own that diamond. It's not a real diamond. I've held it in my hand, but he owns it. She goes to heaven or whatever, paradise, which is back on the Titanic, and she's back with Jack, the homeless guy. Not her husband, who gave her a good life.
Man, I hope
you
don't go back to your ex when you're in heaven. God.
Well, I mean, according to the Old Testament, you are continually tied to that person covenantally. But we won't get into that theology. All right, make sure that you guys are paying attention to some long-form stuff we've got going on. We post other videos on YouTube and Rumble throughout the day, so make sure that you're checking back some of my dialogue, some of my monologues that I work really, really hard on. And I just like to blabbermouth. Party Foul Steve, what's going on with you, buddy? Anything we need to know before you get out of here?
Hey, my main thing is I want everybody to go to Amazon and leave a review for Chad's new book.
And buy the book.
Order the book. But also, I did leave you a review. It hadn't posted yet. I'm waiting on it. I did it while we were doing the show.
So, that actually helps drive it up. It helps drive the visibility of it.
You can't go higher than number one, Chad. It's a number one seller.
Well, you can't. So let me just show you guys. So here's the deal. If I go to Amazon, let me just give you guys a live, up-to-date thing on what's happening with the book that is known as Born for Meaning. So it's in multiple categories. So it is currently number one in Christian faith, but it is number 2,000 in all books. That's cool. Number 3 in religious faith, number 4 in Christian faith, and number 18 in Christian inspirational. But there's only 3 reviews.
Yeah, well, it says 3, but I only see 2 of them. I did. Let me see.
It takes a minute for them to show up, but they got to approve them and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And so anyway, just do that for me. But get the book, and if you want a signed copy or you've ordered from bornformeaning.com, which is us, it's a bulk order, so it's taking a while. It's going to take probably another week for them to come in, but I got to sign all of them, and then Cindy will ship them all out to you. Party Foul Steve, make sure you're following him on all the socials, including Venmo. Send him $1 or $2.
Yep.
Because that's
Just send me a message. I got plenty of messages.
Yeah, that's how Steve eats, okay? All right, Party Foul Steve, I love you, buddy. I'll holler at you in a minute. It is now time for my final word. All right, guys, as I said earlier, I want us to talk a little bit about critical thinking before we go. You know, I'm always talking about that. It's the thing that separates free men and women from brainwashed puppets. At the beginning, I talked about how the media is trying to brainwash everybody. This is your solution for that, okay? I don't care if it's what they're banning or the mandates or anything they're doing. Critical thinking isn't some academic exercise reserved for philosophers in ivory towers. It's the everyday discipline of asking why and how am I wrong or who benefits and what's the evidence. It's refusing to just nod along when the TV shouts headlines or when politicians wave slogans like candy wrappers. So without that, we become consumers of the narratives and the agenda rather than the seekers of the truth. And I don't want you to be that person. I want you to seek the truth because history shows us what happens when critical thinking dies. Societies are marched into wars they didn't understand, trusted leaders who never deserved it, and obeyed systems that stripped them of dignity and freedom. Why? Because they stopped questioning. They surrendered their minds for the comfort of conformity. That's what's happening with our politicians in this country today. Now, the danger today is no different. Every screen you scroll, every anchor you listen to, every algorithm that feeds you the next headline, there's a message that's baked into it. So if you don't stop and examine, you're not thinking, you're absorbing. And absorbing without discernment is indoctrination. That's how good people get led into bad ideas. That's how free citizens become obedient puppets. Critical thinking, it's not about cynicism or just doubting everything for the sake of doubting. It's not just distrusting everything. It's about discernment. It's the skill of holding a claim up to the light and saying, does this hold water? Does this line up with reality? Is this opinion dressed up as fact? I want to know. It's being willing to sit with complexity and thinking instead of swallowing the soundbite. The future of freedom isn't in stronger governments, contrary to what Tim Kaine wanted to tell us. It's not found in better media. It's in sharper minds, those minds given to you by the grace of God. If people think clearly, manipulation loses its power. If people reason honestly, propaganda collapses under its own weight. So guard your mind like you guard your home. Don't let just anybody walk through it with the muddy boots on. I want you to question. I want you to challenge. I want you to reflect. I want you to think critically, because the moment you stop, you're no longer a free person. You're a puppet with someone else pulling the strings. Go to watchchad.com. That's where all the fun stuff is. Text CHAD to 989898. Let Birch Gold help you with your retirement and many, many other things. Check out that rebate when you talk to him and get my book, Born for Meaning. You can go to bornformeaning.com, get the autographed copy, or you can go to amazon.com. Please leave a review. For Party Foul Steve, follow him at Party Foul Steve, and of course, at David Medina PDX, our unseen but ever-present producer. I love him so much. I love both of these men. They are my brothers, my brothers, my brothers. And you know who else I love? You, because you're faithful and you're awesome and you're amazing. And I believe you're cut above the common craziness that thinks Apple Pay and Apple dollars come because you let a cookie have access to your website you were visiting. Make sure that you're hitting subscribe on YouTube and Rumble. Leave us a 5-star rating and review where podcasts are offered on Spotify and Apple and wherever else you can find it. I love y'all so much, man. Join me tomorrow morning at 8, 7 Central for Before the Noise. We're moving on up in the book of John, and we're having a good time doing it. I'm thankful that you guys are tuned in. I will talk to you tomorrow morning. Until then, I love you. God bless. Bye.